ago. It's the conversation. Yeah. Take your mind different places. Now you know. So yeah, we got Corey Vega on. What's up, my guy? It's been a long time, bro.
10 years.
Long time. I think
10 years.
10 years? I think even almost longer, no?
Well, we see each other ever so often in the neighborhood because we're both from Queens.
Right.
But I think about two, three occasions we've seen each other.
Yeah, but then that's it.
Yeah, that's about it.
And it was quick too, right?
For sure, yeah. We was both doing something, man. Queens is a big city. It's a great place to be at, and we always in the middle of something.
Wow, bro. So let's dive right into it, yo. Matter of fact, we shouldn't dive just into it just yet. Let's tell the people how we know each other for real and how we met.
For
Flushing
sure.
High School.
Flushing High School,
Wrestling.
man. We was in the wrestling team. Yo,
my guy. Yo, son. Learn so much
it.
from you. Learn so much from everybody there, bro.
Nah, for sure, man. You were definitely always a calm spirit, a good presence to be around. Always had something good to say of other people. And I just appreciated that about you. Like, you was about your business. You was doing your Muay Thai too. And then you came in with the wrestling, man. And you was just always a fresh presence to be around because it was always like you had something good to say to other people. Just always definitely a cool dude in and out of the school.
Bro, I appreciate that, man. Like, what sucked was when, I don't know if you remember, but I tore my lateral meniscus in a match, and then that just ended my shit for a whole year, bro.
The season.
I was like, oh shit, I get to use the elevator. I never used the elevator in this bitch.
Yo, for real, that was forbidden.
Yo, I feel like I should mention this because we both went to the same high school.
For sure.
Remember the principal?
Which one? We had so many, yo.
The Dominican-looking dude.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You heard what happened to that dude?
After that,
bro, that's crazy. You heard what happened though, right? He had like 10 pounds of heroin in his trunk or some shit.
Yo, it is.
But I heard it's a lot deeper.
It's definitely a lot more than that. But the fact that he was representing and running our school, and then that happens, is nuts. Yeah. It's nuts, and it's just like, damn, we really get that reputation because in New York, for those that are not from the area, like Flushing is one of those schools in Queens that's just not known for its upbeat productivity. Like that's cool. Like, you got heads turning when you hear people say that. Yo, I went to a Flushing High School. Yo, you survived that? Like,
you remember? I don't know if you were there that day or there was one day, and I don't know why I remember this shit, but I remember it. They announced it on the speaker that one of the girls that went to the school, an Asian girl, she got accepted into MIT. And they said it on the speaker. It was like a whole big announcement. And it was like, what?
That's wild. Nah, I don't think I was there for that day.
Yeah, so it could happen. It could happen. It's just crazy difficult in an environment like that.
Nah, yeah. Those were some great years. I did all my 4 years in there. Did you?
Yeah, of course.
It was just...
So when... Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
When did you... Not even when did you, but... From Flushing High School, where did you go to, and what was that transition like for you?
So after high school, I had a whole lot to take in as far as what I wanted and what was wanted for me. I wanted to just do what any first generation wants to do for their parents and, make your mom proud. She wanted school, so that was the route I went. I tried it out. I was on a free ride. And I was not appreciating it for what it was because I wanted to pursue my own things outside of school. And so then I left school. I was chasing my own dreams with starting off with the training business because I finished everything I wanted to. Now I finished everything I needed to as a young person. And I wanted to do what I wanted to. But down the road, mom and a girlfriend at the time was just persuading me like, they made sacrifices for you. That's all they asked to see. And I'm like, I'm going back in. I wasn't covered because I was fooling around with the classes that was getting paid for me. So once it started coming out of pocket, like the focus was there.
Right.
So I just took that aboard with me to go back into school, go follow through with it. Went from QCC to Brooklyn College. That's where I started doing this my research and studies in film production. That's how I went to over there.
So sorry, but in the midst of you doing that, you have already created your business.
Correct. I was already in the practice of it, not necessarily having my own business with it, because that path started in 2016.
Okay.
So from 2013 after high school, I went into the college route, and that's when this period that I was not taking it serious. So I left that, and then I went into the route of just strictly training.
Okay.
And during the training period when I was starting
That's
off,
what, sorry to cut you off again, but that's what you would consider the practice of this time, right?
correct.
Okay.
Correct. Because since even the time in school, it was when the signal started going off that I have something going here with that career. In school, when I would always like cut lunch and then just take it to go to gym class with, what was his name? Oh man, what was his name? Bald head. Damn, with the S. Gym teacher.
You're asking the wrong person.
No, oh man, I can't believe I got his name off. It wasn't Coach D. It was not.
I'll edit this whole part out. Don't worry about it.
Nah, for sure. But I would sneak out of the lunch period and go into a gym class where they would let me just do my own thing, and it was getting to the point where friends were noticing and people were asking me for advice. Like I was doing this for my own sake of enjoying the liberty that it gave me, because exercise became the first place where I felt in full control. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Right.
And then other people saw the rhythm that I had with it, so they came up to me asking about like how do I make it work for me. So I tried to show everyone their own route. That built up to the point where it was a friend, my friend's sister wanted me to work with her as like a one-on-one, like officially, like routine.
Dope.
And so, cause she heard me always talk about being in there with the rhythm, knowing what I'm doing, and just speaking on it so naturally.
Nice.
So I worked with her for about 2 months. She lost the weight that she wanted to, gave me motivation. She got me my first client, and then from there on, it was like full speed ahead. I went legitimate in the sense of like getting formally trained with the certification program, and come 2016, I'm in there. Starting at like one of the gyms in Midtown.
Okay, and how did you make your business legitimate?
So with the business, the transition from that was I was studying as much as I was able to with the gym that I was working with. And what they expose you to that you can't learn as quickly off of freelance is, the art of the sale, because they will bring you a lot of people who are interested in wanting a service. And, being well educated in teaching is one element, and then sales is another.
Right.
They're two different, focuses, and you have to have. Everyone has one, not everyone has the second. Some people are not as much people person as much as they are organized with teaching, and so you have to develop that. And I learned the do's, the don'ts. I had my successes. I had my failure projects. From the years that I've worked there, I think a little over 3 years.
Describe one each.
So one success story is actually up on my Instagram, where I had a client who came in at 121 pounds around there, and he says, "Listen, I wanna build muscle. I wanna get stronger, and I just don't know how to go about it." So he went on for twice a week, and he was one of those characters where he was not making excuses. Like, I was there 5 days a week. I'd see him there those 5 days of the week. He commits to the homework, trusts wholeheartedly what we say, doesn't say no. He trusts the process.
We say, sorry again, so it's more than just you in this.
And with the experience of the training the client?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he is much as a part of the project as I am, because he is coming to me for this guidance and education, and then I'm coming to him of knowing what his perspective, strengths, and weaknesses are as a performance.
I respect that. I honestly feel that that's amazing, because I was almost thinking that you're working with other people, but you're still your business is one-on-one.
Correct.
I just want to make clear so people understand. Now that is a great example. I want you to continue on with that, and then also lead on to the negative ones, to give an example of like the struggles.
So with some of the con stories that we have, as far as like the clients who things didn't work out in their favor. They're people who when they're speaking to me about like when I asked them initially, what have you done in the times we've not seen each other? Oh, I went out for a walk. You know, I had a birthday. Or we went out to eat something small. And like I see their performance, because it's one thing when a client speaks to you as to how they approach things properly,
Right.
and the performance tells a different story. Because with the expectations for a lot of these common goals are like, I want to lose weight. How many people say I want to lose weight? And so they have a commitment to themselves as far as like, you know, their intake of food, their performance with exercises. And when they're not doing their homework, it reflects when I see them. They're still at the same reps and sets that they were doing before. There is no confidence, no oomph in them that just shows me that they're breaking records through conditioning.
Okay.
And so when they're looking at me like, hey, I'm here, I paid you, why am I not better? And it's like, I work with you for 1 hour out of the day, and I'm giving you a mindset to adopt for the other 23 hours when we're not together.
Correct.
And
Accountability.
Correct. Accountability is the best way to summarize that. And it's just a sense of like, I do everything I need to, and you have to take the wheel from there.
Now, I'm going to tell you what I'm... Sorry. What I'm going to tell you now is what I do at the gym, and I want to tell you because I want to get your opinion on it, and I want to see if that's a direction that I should be taking for what I want. And I'm going to tell you what I want as well. I do want to just be bigger, but like proportionately. I don't want to be lacking in one area or looking to... I just want to look proportionately and just slightly bigger. You know? What I've been doing is... And this is the same thing at the gym I do, but I raise up the weight of each thing that I do as it gets easier. You understand? And forgive me that I don't know a lot of the names and terminologies of the machines.
You're good,
I'm
man.
just gonna
Everyone's
describe.
in their own place, for
I'm just
sure.
gonna describe
Let
what
it out,
I
yeah.
do.
I'll
You know
piece
what
it
I mean?
together.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So the first thing I do when I go to the gym, I go to that machine where like you're laying down to the ab crunch machine where it connects to the weights.
I know what you're speaking.
Right now where I'm at, I used to be at 55, and now I'm at 80 of weights. So I do 5 sets of 20 on that. After that, I go to that machine that you're like twisting. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I know what you're talking
All
about.
right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I do 5 sets of 20 on there as well. And then I go to the machine that is like, you know, it's like that machine where you put your hands up like that.
Yeah.
And you're sitting. Like
You're
it's
in
like
the
a seat.
upright position,
Right.
From a seated position.
Right. But I saw my friend on Instagram, and he got nice abs. And I'm like, yo, I saw his gym routine one time that he was on that machine. I'm like, oh, I know that machine. And what he would do is while he's sitting on it, he kicks his legs straight up. So he keeps like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, give it more contraction.
Yeah. And I just been doing that as well. I started from 40 on that, and now I'm at 100. And I just do that with the kicks, 5 sets of 20 as well. After I finish that, I go to the machine that's like...
Cable flies.
I do 5 sets of 20 of that. That is a lot harder to go up in weights, I've realized, for me. For me, I've been going up slowly in increments. Right now, I'm at 100. Like, that's where I feel like, okay, this is burning, like... But I'm not, like, passing out. Or, you know what I mean? I'm not, it's not overbearing.
Yeah, there's...
So after that, I go to either 2 machines, depending on which one's open or not, because I don't want to waste time.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
And I go to either the machine that you pull down, or to the machine that you push up like that.
Okay, for the shoulders or for the chest?
I guess the one for shoulders, because it's over the head.
Straight up.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And after that, I go upstairs and I do either the I get like a 10-pound weight. That's where I'm at right now, and do the shit that goes like that.
Lateral raises.
Right.
Yeah.
The lateral raises. I could do 15, but that shit burns OD when I do it the 15. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? And then after that, I get a 30-pound or 35-pound, whichever is like available, because you know people. And then I get on the bench and I just go
You do a flat?
flat on the bench, like I'm laying on the bench. Yeah,
okay.
like that. And then after that, I go and you know the ropes that you pull down.
Yeah.
I do that 5 sets of 20 as well. And then after all of that, I run for 15 minutes, but not like I run also the same way I do my weights. So like I run to the point where it burns so deep, but I'm not killing myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then each time I go, I'm like getting higher and higher. Not each time, but like
You doing intervals or permitting that?
What do you mean by that?
Like, are you doing like high intensity where you have your highs and lows in waves, or are you doing it where you're just consistently having a new starting where it's higher and faster?
I consistently go like to the point that I can go, like the highest, which right now is at like 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just do that for the entire 15 minutes. And what I'm aiming to do with that is building up my endurance, but slowly, because I find that I started off at 6.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I go 0.5 each, and then 0.5, and then 0.5 when I feel comfortable for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I've been doing.
And is this a routine you follow every single day, or do you split it with something different? Like, how is your week looking of the workout routine?
So I started when I started really going back to the gym for real. Like I started doing that just twice a week, and then I made it 4 times a week.
Nice.
And then now I'm at a point where some weeks, depending on like if I'm not too busy, I'm doing 5.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm trying to do 4 or 5 times a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I am doing the same things those 4 and 5 times a week.
Okay,
like,
that really helps me paint the picture. And to start off with the feedback, it's all in the list here. So I'm gonna go for like everything that I notice sticks out that works, and I could suggest alternatives to. I like how you start with it for sure with core, and that is a big emphasis that I usually use with my clients as well. Emphasis is on always starting with core. And why I put that so heavy on them is because of the fact that when you're doing every other kind of exercise, pushing, pulling, upper, lower body, you need to have a tight midsection and upright midsection to keep that posture regardless if it's upper or lower. So when you exercise your core and then you're having it brace the rest of your body when you're doing the routines, it's like getting double work for your core because it's doing intense demand, but it's not the same thing as a strengthening routine where like you're moving the range of motion of those muscles. It's more of a stabilization priority for the rest of the body. So you get more out of it because the engine's already rolling with the core because you're sore from the routines, and doing everything else supplements that. So power on to you with that. My 2 cents is with machines is learn alternatives that are calisthenic in a style, meaning, using your own body without the assistance of machines, because machines help 2 demographics mostly. It helps everyone, but the one that it benefits the most is the elderly and the injured. And that's given to the fact that with the machine there to hold you in place, there's a lot less responsibility on stabilizing. And when you're doing any exercise, you have the groups called the protagonist, antagonist, stabilizers, secondary muscles, and like regardless of what you do, what exercise you know and do, there is always 4 responsibilities of the structure of the body. So it's always a group of muscles working together. You can isolate a strengthening, but there is always going to be a group of muscles engaged, and that's what switches the dynamic between knowing a basic bodybuilding routine and knowing the functional use of the body. So learning the same routines that you use for your core on your own without the machines will give you a better bang for your buck. The machines work. I got nothing against the machines, but a better bang for your buck, more for your effort, will come from doing it calisthenic style.
May I interject?
For sure.
So would you suggest not to eliminate the machines, but to apply the calisthenics within the workouts?
You can, depending on how your time goes, you can like just get familiar with it, do one at a time, and then transition it slowly just to see what you feel works and doesn't work. Because remember, it's your routine. You keep it towards something that you feel comfortable going to over again and you feel like is really challenging you to improve, because the name of the game with exercise is to feel like you've improved with something. If you plateau and it becomes a walk in the park is not going to benefit you much, if at all. And when you're striving to make the most out of the time that you invest, it has to be all or nothing to make that bigger leap forward.
Okay.
I like the changes you make too, because after you go with core, you go with the pulling down and the pressing, you go with shoulders, and then you finish with cardio. That's all excellent. I can see how organized the routine is, because like it's like a chef cooking something backwards, like starting with the baking of the flour and then putting the eggs and wheat in it. You're not approaching it backwards. You're approaching it from a very good standpoint of like the core is already one principle that I said, and then you do the major muscles secondary, and you finish off with like the smaller group of muscles. So like you did chest, lats, and shoulders. Those do more, and then you isolate smaller groups, and then you go for a run, which is tougher. It's tougher. You feel heavier when you go for an exercise.
Right.
You go for a run.
So I used to do the run in the beginning, and then my girl's brother actually put me on to trying to do the run after my workout. And I just feel like it's so much better because it's so much more difficult.
Correct.
So I don't know. I want it more. If that makes any sense.
No, definitely. You look forward to that kind of fatigue and morning after pain for 24 or 48 hours. But like, it helps you feel like it's like you what you did was worth something.
Right. And before we continue on like the rest of the workout, because I do want to get your opinion on it, but I heard, and let me know if you've came across this as well along your journey, that if you walk on an incline for an hour at like 2.0 to 3.0, that it burns if you have enough time, but it burns so much more fat and than running for a short period of time at a faster way. I don't know if this is true. I've heard, like I said, I've heard this from somebody at the gym. So like, I want to get your opinion on it. Have you ever heard of this?
I have not heard it. I wouldn't disagree with it. For better clarity for me, I would just like to see what the measurements were. You know, what speed do they consider running? What is it that with the incline and the time? Because I know that definitely takes more of your larger muscles to do going at an incline. So that's one of those situations where it's more for your effort. So I don't disagree with that. I just definitely want to know with what the measurements were, just out of curiosity. But I do agree with it for sure.
And along with the rest of the workouts and your main advice for that, I don't want to take up too much of your time with that.
No, you're good, bro. Fire away, man.
Nah.
We're here to talk. Why not talk? Yo, get it in, brother. This is bread and butter, bro.
So within the cycle of my workouts, is there anything else that I should be applying besides aiming to do more calisthenics within my workout?
Measure.
And by calisthenics, you mean I should be doing more different types of push-ups, different types of sit-ups, leg raises, that type of thing, or?
Do anything with your body on its own. So what I mean by that is because the reason why I say calisthenics is because with all the ab machines you were telling me, they were all machines. All machines from what I heard.
Yeah.
So then what I'm saying is learn all different types of routines that targets the groups of in the ab region that you want to in a calisthenic sense. So have it transition. Make your own opinion, you know, decide, hey, this works better for me calisthenically. This works better for me in the machine. But it's, in my 2 cents, it's that a calisthenic will give you more for your effort because it involves those stabilizer muscles and more groups than a machine would allow you to.
Okay, perfect. I want to get back into the whole conversation of when you were creating your business and going to film school.
Whew.
How was that transition? The type of people you came across, why you chose to even go into film?
No, that's a very good question. And to best summarize that is because I was doing poetry prior to going back into school. Like right before I left school, the college the first time was when I started getting into poetry. So when I went back in, I was already still a poet. And the element that I learned from it is that it's a story to tell, something that I really appreciated that I wanted to grow and prosper in. And then that's when the conflict came that I told you earlier, where my mom and a girlfriend was just persuading me to go back into school. So going back into it, I'm like, all right, if I'm going to be back in, it needs to be something that I really want to study. Lo and behold, you know, I found the film studies, and then I said, this is a visual element of how to tell a story. And since I'm already a storyteller with the written word, why not transition that into a visual? So it just gives me a more dynamic way of delivering a story.
Wow. And have you ever actually created a film of any kind?
No, definitely. In the school, they had a lot of projects that were focused on making films. So it was a lot like a trade school, because they had all the equipment that the students would need to make a very good production, like something that like a film festival would and has been proud of. And they just give quality material, like lights, like cameras, like sound equipment. It's just like, you know what you're good at, and you stick to your department, because it's just a group effort. From there, you're meeting, talking with all these people that you would normally not see yourself talking to or with, and then you have a common objective there for the grade, and you just really learn each other a lot more, and put together something that is practiced on a professional level. Like, I thought this was just Hollywood related, like fun activities, movies, but to learn that people could really do it and just connect things together, that difference between, you know, where the world is now with social media and cameras on their phones, to like only Hollywood was able to put something on a good screen.
Right. You had a lot of those strong conversations, right? I'm guessing in class, of what's the future might be holding for a lot of us, right? Independently. Three things. I want to know your first film that you created in that time that you were there. Your best film, in your opinion, that you've created in that film, and your worst film that you've created in that film, in that time.
Okay, so the best one I would say was Running on Empty, and that was one about an artist that lost his motivation, a piano player, and then he just got frustrated because he wasn't perfecting this one piece.
Wow.
And then he went to go to Washington Square Park to look for inspiration, found it, and then, they all lived happily ever after. That was a good piece, my favorite piece to work on, because I did it with my friends back at home. It was collaborative. I was introducing them into something that they're not familiar with, because they were outside of school. And so it came together really well, like with the shots and the patience and, the comfortability with putting together something.
Nice.
The worst would be a documentary I made. And funny enough, it was because I was actually a doc student, and it was a longitudinal.
You said the worst or the first?
The worst.
Okay, the worst.
Yeah. It wasn't something that I was happy with, and I just did it for the sake of getting the grade, because it's not like this was making my career, like I was gonna build something off of this. It was just to like get that paper for mom. That was the basis of it. Right. And on top of that, I learned how to tell a story through another visual element. So it had that duality. It wasn't meant to be affiliated. And with learning all of this craft, damn, I lost my train of thought. What made it the worst? So I was working with this group for over a year, recording them. It was a grassroots campaign about green energy. And then I was just going to their meetings, recording them, getting interviews, and having fun with it. And then when the documentary came out was when COVID came out.
Wow.
When the finals was coming was when COVID came out. So then everything switched up. And then everyone was limited with like their team, their crews, like who they could bring, how many people could be on board.
Sheesh.
And so I had a time crunch.
The resources were cut.
Yeah.
And your time was cut.
Correct.
Jeez.
So I had to put it together with what I had.
Right.
Which, thank goodness, a lot of it was caught with my own equipment, because it was a longitudinal study, and it just worked out in my favor, thank goodness. But I also lost out on a lot of projects too, because that month, like March, April, I had like 8 projects where I was doing the sound engineering for.
Oh, wow.
And then they all just got cut off because of COVID. And so with that, the favorite would be the first project I did, just because it was like more so fun than it was the pressure of like, I need a grade for this.
And that was your first. And that was your first one?
Correct.
Oh, wow. That's dope, man. That's fucking sick. Now, you graduated, you left that place, and you started entering into the real world. What was that like?
So knowing where I wanted to take it was completely individualistic pursuit, because what they emphasized in the school was like, hey, network, meet new people, work on new projects. It's going to suck at first, but trust it and follow through, and you will prosper and you will grow in it. I've seen a lot of people do exactly that, where like they're working with big names out there, and they're just having fun doing what they love and enjoy, and others who have not used it at all, others who are using it. I'm one of those that I took it to use it for my advantage. I bring that together with my artistry.
Right.
And so working on, publishing content works towards the artistry, and it just gives me ideas of projects that I could pursue when I'm more settled with where the rhythm is of the business.
Mm. Now, what is the greatest outcome that you would like to have within your life from doing all these practices and from creating what you have been creating? You know what I mean?
I want it to be, and this is getting like a little personal and deep, but it's the truth. It's like I wanted to leave it documented proof that I believed in myself and individualistic pursuits can be attained. I come from a very large family. Those extended, those that I'm close to, those that I consider that I was raised with and know of and love. And I want, as the youngest of 8, I have nieces and nephews who are younger than me, who are in this opportunity of this country that my mother brought us in. So I want them to see that it is attainable to follow through with your hopes and dreams and really prosper with it. Don't give in to the whole 9-to-5 piece of paper business. Don't be working for someone under their leadership. Like, you can have a plan and commit to it and then see it really follow through. So a lot of the artistry that I make is to help document it, that like, hey, like, no matter what period in time it was, like, he just stuck with it, and that's what helped him grow and, be comfortable and have that kind of life that you don't need a vacation from.
That's amazing, man. Everything what you said, you did not once say your living situation, which tells me that you don't necessarily even care about that as long as you create this.
Correct.
Which is honorable.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Now, what is the living situation that you would like to have, though?
Just on my own.
Realistically?
Yeah, just on my own.
You want a studio apartment?
I'll do just a 1-bedroom. I'll be content with just that. I don't need like a mansion. I like the city life. I like the access that it gives me.
The hustle and bustle.
The hustle and bustle, meeting anyone at any time. The amount of foot traffic there is. New York spoiled me, bro. When I'm saying New York is the place to be, man, 24-hour bodegas, all different types of food. You got Italian, you got French, Chinese, all within walking distance, especially in this neighborhood, man.
I love
it just really is the bee's knees. Yo.
The bee's knees? Really, though? Where you at in the city?
Flushing.
Hey.
You mean in work?
Living wise.
Flushing.
Because work, you can work anywhere, essentially, right?
No, for sure. Definitely, yeah. Right. But yeah, Flushing, born and raised, straight up, represent. Shout out Action Bronson. Maybe we'll collab sometime near future. I'm working on it. But yeah, just Flushing is born and raised. I love it. It taught me so much that you don't get to experience living anywhere else.
Give some examples.
So dealing with the environments where not everyone is level-headed, level-minded, I came out of Section 8 housing, bro. It's the living situation that raised me up, so I would see what my family would present to me as good and bad, and then, you'd be exposed to those types of living style circumstances, people hanging outside, drinking, smoking, fighting, colors, signs getting thrown up, beefs and fights and issues and matters like that. And it really helps you assess of where you want to be, especially being exposed to that kind of thing at an early age. You know that, like, this is not where I want to be involved with. This, where I'm staying at, where I'm residing at, with this thing we call family is here to help and benefit me. I need to pay more mind to what they're telling me because it's the value that it gives me keeps me away from them.
Wow. Did you get that perception of life? Because that's tough to have that perception when you were living and growing up through those circumstances. What made that different for you? Do you feel like it's your parents' teachings? Do you feel like it's just in you?
Yeah, it was.
Because I feel like sometimes it's just in people sometimes, bro.
It's you take a knowledge from all corners. So you have, like, my mother would tell me safe and serious matters, like, hey, don't smoke because that's how you'll end up, like, with these terrible conditions. And my brother would tell me, like, hey, listen, I used to do this, and that. And it got me into some messes and troubles hanging out with these people doing that. Yeah, I'm the youngest of 8.
Wow, I'm the youngest of 8.
Yes, 5 sisters, yo.
Woo, that's some old schooly shit. Cause like back in the day, people used to have a lot of kids. Like my mom was one of 6, I think.
Yeah.
That's
Yo.
it's just wild, bro. So
Yo, we
like,
just working, we busy, bro. We enjoy the craft.
were you babied or were you like?
Both, man. It's A, bro. I'm gonna get 8 different versions of love, bro. Tough love, real love, yo, food love.
You have brothers and you have sisters.
Yes.
Wow. So that also gave you another perception of life, right, and how to deal with people, right?
Yeah. Everyone had their own personalities. You know it off the jump, living with family, staying over homes, seeing relatives. Because I got nieces and nephews that are older than me, that are my age, and significantly younger than me. So I've seen all the walks of life, you know, from family themselves, you know, from them giving me lessons to being exposed to be seeing something happen in front of your own eyes, being exposed to it. And that's where it comes from. Like, you know, learning can come from all angles, and coming from a big family, you see that perspective, you see what works and doesn't work.
Wow. How have you applied that to your life in your business for real?
It definitely gives me a lot of motivation, especially in knowing the fact that, you know, as a Latin American coming here to the U.S. and New York of all places, like our parents took the gamble and they really succeeded in bringing us to the place to be. And so we have like we owe that to our parents to really make the most out of what we follow through with and we make of our life to represent the name well. And my siblings, you know, they came in here as immigrants as well, 5 of them. And so, you know, they were as teens learning the American life. And as they were just getting used to the Latin American life over back at home. So it's like a different world, night and day, transitioning.
Yeah.
So they gave me, you know, just a general child growing up. And then they also gave me like that of what they, you know, how immigrants were dealt with coming into the country. So it gives me that motivation to be like, we got to represent, I got to do well, I got to do better than they did for them. And, you know, pass it on to where my life takes me.
You've dealt with the conflict of dealing with your mom and your girlfriend at the time, feeling a certain way about the direction of your life. But now, how does your mom feel?
She saw what she needed to. She saw what she needed to, you know. She wanted me just to get that degree and follow through with it. And I'm grateful for her getting able to see that, because this was when 2016 that we had this conversation. From 2016 to 2020, I got my degree. And then last year, 2022, my mother passed. So
I'm sorry, man.
nah, it's all good, brother. It's no one's fault. It was her time. She went peacefully, and that's all I could.
That's beautiful.
That's all I could really wish for her.
Wow.
And so I just gave her what any mother would want to see.
Do you believe in God?
Bro, I believe in that there is definitely a God out there. There is a purpose, a reason for everything, and there's nothing we can do about it. And it's all just a part of like that direction, that path that we really need to keep our eyes out open for. And nothing is ever poorly intended. It's what you make of it. It all happens for a reason, like they say.
Did you feel your mom or sense a message of any kind after her death?
Just peace, like solace.
Yeah.
Solace, because a lot of her worries was that of like, I want you guys to be independent, to take care of yourselves. And so, you know, as much as I had faith in myself, her idea coming into the country was a diploma. So then it just ties in with, you know, the relationship and the mom getting me to go back, and then me getting it on time for her to have that peace. So that's why I'm saying it's just connected how life works.
Wow. So this time period, it didn't impact you. Not to say that it didn't impact you, but it didn't impact you to the point that you fell into a depression, because you felt like this was more of a time to come, and or that she was at peace, or did it tie into a depression?
It's a great question. It is an excellent question to have. And this ties into where my business is as Tailor-Made Fitness. It's peace of mind. It is peace of mind of having a good mental health standing and also a physical health. So with writing and with exercise, it was literally my saving grace. It was my saving grace, because losing family was and still is something that is not easy to take in. You know, your whole world just stops, like how you see it in the movies where someone is on a train and it's just all silent. They hear nothing but their own thoughts. It's true. That's exactly how it goes down.
Right.
And so what saved me from like staying in that mindset and, you know, going into my own head, I had my outlets of writing and of exercise to really help me forget about the world that you live in. And that's the access that the outlets gave to me. With poetry, allowed me to talk to myself. With exercise, it allowed me to divert my attention to some productivity, mentally and physically, because coming out of there, you feel so refreshed, and it gives you a new, more comfortable standing with, you know, what you're assessing. So it was all needed, because the depression was there, and, you know, it would day to day, it's still present, because it's something that you don't get over, but you just come to terms that there's nothing you can do to change it.
Right.
And so you, as the individual, you move forward and grow stronger from what you've been, you know, experiencing in your own head, coming to terms with it and moving on. Because some people don't move on. Like, I have family members that, like, their room was a mess for months just because they couldn't move. They couldn't do anything else. They just had work, taking care of the house, and that's it. And just be in the room silent. And because I had my outlets, it helped me move forward a lot faster.
Right.
And like I said, it doesn't go away. It's just always going to be present, but you come to terms and move on forward when you have that escape.
Did you like push it hard at the gym? Were you listening to techno blasting or something?
Or
was it like you still stabilized through the workouts and you still followed your methods?
Principles are there, the principles are all there.
You did
Safety
push it
first.
more in that time.
I did,
and did you write more, or in that time did you not write that much?
More so exercise than the writing. But the writing was there
after the fact.
Correct.
When you started calming down.
Correct.
What was that first poem like, or what was that first you know, going back into poetry for you?
It felt very, very resonant, like a forecast, like a foretell, because, you know, everything you prepare yourself for, like we're writing poetry. I like to speak more on mental health, and you do have those type of poetries where they're uplifting and happy, and, you know, they're, you know, talking your shit style, like, you know, having fun with it.
Right.
And there is a strength that comes with presenting a standard form of upbeat poetry, and then it takes a different strength to speak on, like, your pain. It's two different types of strengths that you need. And when, you know, you start writing that together and you start seeing how everything that you predicted, whether for the better or worse, is gonna happen or not, you know, it's like, hey, I expected, like, we were gonna celebrate having this for each other, and then that can't happen anymore. Or like saying that this was something that I'm gonna expect it to happen, and then it comes sooner. But like the expectations get shattered, in a sense, is a way to summarize that. And so just putting it together, it solidifies that moment in time of knowing, of having those pieces that lets you know what you were thinking of when they were present, and now that they're not, they're the focus. You don't appreciate what you have until it's gone.
So true. The cliche hits. Cliches hit, right?
Yeah,
they hit hard.
They resonate a lot.
They hit hard,
they
right?
Have some sense.
Because you hear it your whole life, and you're just like,
you don't appreciate it, and then it just comes together full circle.
Boom. Now, I want to get into what makes you keep going.
I was definitely strongly influenced by my brother. My brother, he was
one brother you're speaking of?
Correct. Because as one of my older brothers, he was one of those who came in from South America, and then he was exposed to like that Bruce Lee, Arnold Schwarzenegger style of music, and, you know, and movies and type of culture, lifestyle, and he just adapted into it and made it his own. So looking at him, what he would do, a lot of it was exercise related, you know, macho bravado, old fashioned type, and he'd emulate what he saw on TV, and I would see my brother doing these things like pull-ups, push-ups, handstands. And I'm like, wow, I want to do that. I want to be like my brother. Like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I want to be you.
That's what's up.
And so I just emulated him a lot, and it came through the push-ups. It came through the pull-ups. They had the door frames. You could grab onto it and then just start by hitting the reps in. Push-ups on the floor, the handstands off of the couches. Like, he had the nunchucks, the ninja stars.
Oh, he knew how to use it too? Like,
he just fucking around with that real heavy, bro. So
that's what's up.
Just seeing...
That's cool, bro.
Yeah, just seeing what
how old he was.
He was like about like 10, 11.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so he had some knowledge too.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So he was my epitome of cool and what I wanted to be when I grew up. And so my whole life was based around who my hero was, which was my brother.
So you didn't know your father?
Nah.
Word.
Nah. And so seeing my brother and his performance as a person, you could see like the tough, hard side, the dedicated exercise side, and he also had like that comfortability and communication with kids. Like, you know, he gets kids, and so, you know, when he spoke to me like a person, not like a baby, minor. You gotta take care of you. Like, what is your opinion? This and that.
That's
Here,
what's
take
up.
this. And so there, a lot of
it
respect
allowed
came
your
with
mind.
that.
It allowed your mind to start thinking. Allowed your
Correct.
mind to start to be like, whoa, I could take this information. And,
Correct. So he is what I wanted to emulate, and since grade school, we've been involved with things like the Olympics. In my elementary school, they had the Olympics, like, you know, the local school Olympics.
Okay.
Yeah. Chill, bro. Hold on. Okay, for elementary school, that is as official as it gets. Elementary school Olympics. Shout out, Mr. Capellas.
You got it.
Mr. Capellas was official, bro. He had a jump rope, a push-ups, a basketball.
Right.
Running, a frisbee toss. He had all types of like Olympic competitions, and you'd go from like the best of your grade and then best overall.
That's funny, man.
It was official, and so he was. That was a place where I was able to move on with the exercises, and then that grew on from high school. Freshman year at Flushing High School, I saw the contrast in between, you know, us, the kids, and the older ones. And Flushing High School being the school that it was, is like, I'm not trying to get my ass kicked in here, bro. Like, I got to do something about this. And then I fortunate enough to have a friend there, Jeffrey, who was a senior that year, who told me, yo, let's there's YMCA has a membership, you can sign up for it and then go use and then you can use it for the gym. I signed up for it, not knowing what the program was, but I said, hey, I want to be a member at this location. And then I'd get inside and I'd go to the program and just go straight to the gym. I swear, bro, I was just trying to use my time the best as I could.
Right.
I followed that for since freshman year, and then junior year, the front desk lady, funny enough, she tells me like, "Oh, that program is discontinued."
Oh, what? That sucks.
And I'm like, and then she tells me, "But I'm gonna let you go in because I've known for a while that you don't go to those programs, and I'd rather have you here than in the streets."
That's what's up.
And I spent my last 2 years just going to the gym because she was holding it down at the front desk. So shout out Maria, YMCA.
Wow, that's a fucking amazing story, bro. That's like beautiful, you know, for her to even allow that to happen. Yeah. And it also helped your trajectory.
Correct.
Wow. So I don't want to hop around too much because, you know, we're going here, we're going there, but there's so much to talk about with
sure, man. It's
fun. Do you want to share a poem?
Sure. I'll speak my piece with this one.
Right now, Corey Vega is going to present to you Simulate.
Man, some things in life don't appeal to me. The status, some think it's a thrill to be. Cause if I live to see 103, I know it was making something real to me. I won't apologize if this hits home, Axel, on what it means to sell your soul. It's not Hollywood, those big screens. It's when people trade their dreams for promised cream. They shift attention because someone mentioned pension. They left sentiments for benefits. They talk all day about their 401k. They always overtime like that's okay. They left personal time for social binds and simulate their peace of mind because they only show face in vacation scenes. Escaping what fulfillment means because they're trapped, hooked, addicted to sedatives that quiets the kid who wants to address everything that could have been. Emotions seen in performance scenes. It seems they don't think that performers also have a former life of things we wanted nothing more of, grew through many forms of failure to make this passion formal. That's why I recite 1,000 times. My peace of mind when dreams don't die. Cause we all born into a maze and raised to follow. Hold on tight, certainty is hollow. I'm fighting the odds and that's a tough pill to swallow. Cause the end or beginning can both be tomorrow. So I dream these emotions on my sleeve, bring joys in life that can't be seized. Cause I came from housing, that is way too public. So I'd rather die than wonder what if. I can't take 6 or sleep in the matrix. Money over everything makes me sick. That's why I don't socialize, but I do with kids. Cause the first dream was never cream. It's for them I do it. I'm the youngest of 8. I'ma show my youth why dreams are so great. So when you see these performers, give them their props. I know formers that just became cops, actors in depth just to be docs. Girls who love to sing, claim their love is financing. So I'll write so people can listen. So dreams aren't sedated like sickness. So they can read after my chapter is finished. That I had blues before rhythm to make this performance blue ribbons. Cause I put in years to go off for a few minutes.
Damn, bro. Nice.
Thank you.
Nice. Yes. That shit was dope, bro.
Thank you.
That shit was dope. And you also kept me in flow. You know what I mean? Kept me captivated. You know? There wasn't a dull moment. It was really good.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. With the spoken word stuff, I'm more committed to more of that delivery, kind of getting the message across with it. And that is where I want to, like, say that I'm stellar. And I have to earn it that day by day. And it just... I do my best in making sure that I present it as best as I can.
Man, wow, I really do appreciate that, the whole thing.
Thank
Bro,
you.
Is there anything that you want to ask me?
Definitely, for sure. I would like to know how you have been ever since right after Flushing High School, man. How was your road? I know that you were also following along with the arts as well. So let me know how you know a goal came about. Like, you know, where did it come from Flushing High School to a goal?
My guy. So to make a long story quick, because I don't want to get too deep into it. It's not. I don't want to get boring with it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
nah, for sure.
Really, I just want to give you the points that I feel like hit. I went to Gutman Community College, which is like this. It was at the time it was like a new school, and I took urban studies as a major. And then I ended up going to Hunter College, went 4 years, didn't even apply for graduation because at that time I already felt so, like, I felt so dumb. I felt like I wasted 4 years of my life on a major that wasn't really going to help me with anything besides giving me more questions. Sure, there are answers, but the answers even disrupt you more than the questions do.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily something that I felt that was gonna help me with my life. And you know, so towards the end of college, I fucking fucked around with psychedelics. I moved. I tried different experiences, tried different things because I was like, what is this world? You know, I was caught up in what way should I live? This person says he is right and he thinks he's this way, but he's not even happy in his life. This way. And I also didn't even want to go into other people's ways. I wanted to find my own way. And so, yeah, I moved from Florida and I moved to Jersey. When I was living in Florida, I was working as a bartender in this place called Centrale, which is like located in the FSU like area. You know, like Florida State University.
Yeah.
So it was like a college town. But then I realized that in these areas, the cash flow is controlled by these sporting events, like these like football games. Like you know, if your team, your home team isn't doing good, your pockets wasn't doing good. And just so happened at the time they were losing like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 games in a row. And I was like, my money is cutting. Like, how am I gonna survive? I'm hoping to God that my football team fucking wins.
Yeah,
like,
they're dictating your pay.
It's crazy. So, but I mean, like, at that time, I also didn't have any other real things that I can say, oh, I can do, you know? At that moment in time, I wasn't certified in anything besides, like, bartending, and I had my urban studies major, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, it was spirals. It felt like spirals. It felt like a lot of being alone, but out of my own choice because I'm the one who moved, you know what I mean? But I wanted to have this experience. And then from Florida, I went to Jersey. trusted somebody that I shouldn't have trusted. Thinking, that's when I learned the lesson that just because somebody is doing something bad to somebody else doesn't mean they won't do it to you. They're gonna do that shit to you eventually. You know
If
what I
it's
mean?
in
Like,
their nature.
so yeah, so that was my first time experiencing that, like, to the fullest degree.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
Nah, it's all good. And then after that, I moved back to NYC, moved around a lot, like from place to place to place, having different jobs. I was working at retail spots. I worked at a school and an after school program. Hated kids. Yo, I'm sorry, bro. Like, more power to you, bro.
You're good, yeah.
More power to you,
It's
bro.
all good. To each their own.
More power
to each their
more
own.
power to you, bro. Like, it's not that I hate them, but like, yo, son, like, some kids are mad disrespectful. Like,
What was
like,
the group that you were working with? What was the age group you were working with?
It was like from, like, I think it was middle school.
Okay, yeah.
It was middle school.
Yeah, that's terrible, yeah.
Bro, oh my gosh. Bro, disrespect is crazy. But whatever, like, some points was really cool. Like, there were some students that were really cool. A lot of them had their own different personalities, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I felt like it was a good experience, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And then after that, I fucking worked at UPS and, like, doing deliveries and meeting a bunch of different people and also got into some cool situations. Like, with one time I with one of the songs, and during this whole time I'm making music. During this whole time I'm like, you know, building my sound. During this whole time I'm still trying to find my way.
Yeah.
And then just to fast forward, now I'm doing my thing now, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's been a wild road. And I enjoyed many parts to it, didn't enjoy many parts to it.
Yeah.
It was like a movie you can't control, bro. It's just something that you have to take in. I've learned a lot. There was a lot of mistakes that I've done several times. Felt like an idiot several times. Made very dumb, poor choices several times, over and over again, until it was just like, it hit me in the face enough that made me want to change, made me want to grow, made me wanted to keep on going. Even though I always had that wanting to grow, I kept dabbling in.
Your attention was diverted.
Right. And a lot. And now I'm just staying focused. I also feel like now that I'm going to the gym, it just gives me a cycle throughout my day. I have my dog, you know, it keeps me disciplined because I have to be responsible for her. You know, I'm doing all this and it makes me feel like this is...
Excuse me.
No, it's all right. This is where I'm learning how to get myself organized to achieve my dreams, achieve what I want to do, you know, with my life. So that's where I'm at right now.
It makes complete sense because it's you are the heartbeat of your hopes and dreams. Your actions are the heartbeats of the hopes and dreams, and in that it's all that structure, priorities, accountability, and organization of having that rhythm of making sure you have that balance of you know, making ends meet, having your responsibilities and, like, you know, to-do list taken care of, and then also pursuing what you have to focus on, which is like your peace of mind and artistry. It's that balancing act. And as you're doing it, because obviously you are doing it, you know, you're an independent person, you know where your focus is, and just making sure that you water that plant each day is going to ensure that it grows and prospers because you have your eye on it and you're seeing what's the next step. So what is the saving grace as the artist and, you know, as an independent business owner is knowing what you're doing tomorrow.
Right. Man, I really appreciate the time we spent, and I want the people to know where they can find you.
You can find me on IG at Vegaology, VEGAOLOGY.
So yeah.
Yo, brother, a pleasure. Absolute, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you for having me over. Yo, I know you have a lot to offer into the artistry world, and so the fact that you have me in consideration just for this and to get my 2 cents on something, it really helps me feel even better to know that you have your own structure, flow, and your own pace trajectory with professional, and you know, you see me somewhere in that. So I just want to say thank you for sure
No
for
doubt,
having
bro.
me in it, bro.
No doubt, for real. Stay strong.
Thank you.
So,
Appreciate you.
Ago, it's the conversation. Yeah. Take your mind different places. Now you know. So yeah.